Hello everybody, it's me Caleb Wright, the Urban Free Thinker, and I appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. Today I just want to briefly talk about Bill Cosby. A lot of people are very unsure how to feel about him since the sentencing and the accusations and things like that, and I just want to weigh in on it very briefly. But before I do, I have to remind you guys that I am the Urban Free Thinker, and a free thinker is a person who has formed their own opinions using reason and rational inquiry, and someone who has rejected dogma being the authority, and in this case with Bill Cosby, as it was with Kanye, the media and what they have to say and ideas and perspectives they choose to push over on people as a normality. Now, let's get into Bill Cosby. I'm not here to say whether Bill Cosby is guilty or innocent or jump into that whole fiasco on it. I am here to address some of the concerns that I've seen. There's been people who don't know exactly how to feel, especially a lot of women who don't know exactly how to feel about Bill Cosby, and there's a lot of young people who don't know anything about Bill Cosby. So let's answer that question. Before I do, I want you guys to see this clip that kind of stirred up this video.
Heartbreaking. Which part?
It was sad when
the whole
saw
thing, the
him-
fact he did
Yeah.
it, if he, like, it's all just really sad. And I don't know if I'm the only one that's, like, having a hard time with how I should feel. Like, I know, okay, how do you separate his work from what he did?
All right, you watched the clip. And basically, the thing bothers me the most is that everyone is looking at this guy is saying that how could he do this? This is Dr. Huxtable. How can I feel about this? This is Dr. Huxtable. And the biggest thing is, as with any person, you can't sum up someone like Bill Cosby's work in a matter of one television show. He actually has a few major accomplishments that he's done over his life. He's 81 years old. His entire life has been dedicated to making people better. He was the first black actor and star on a major sitcom, which was I Spy back in the 70s. He made kids cartoons that taught valuable life lessons in simple ways. It's cartoons like Fat Albert and other things, characters and stuff like that just taught kids major lessons that they need to learn and maybe they weren't learning around. He was America's dad on The Cosby Show as Dr. Cliff Huxtable. However, he didn't, ask for that title. He was deemed America's dad because of how well a job he did. But in that show, he gave parenting examples that entire generation now believes in it and looks to parent their children very similarly, just based on The Cosby Show. A lot of us growing up didn't have those types of examples of parents and things like that, and that show provided that for us. And so he did that, and that's what means a lot to a lot of people. But he was also a major advocate for education in poor and black communities. Not only did he go out and advocate and push for people to go to college, higher learning, he also paid for a lot of people to go. He also paid money to a lot of HBCUs, which is historically black colleges and universities. And as you know, I went to Clark Atlanta University. I am a product of one, but he also donated a lot to Spelman and Morehouse as well, and Temple University. Now, he was also a mentor to many, many, many young adults. He gave many actors a break on The Cosby Show. He's done a lot for just people as a whole. But the big thing is even getting his doctorates and speaking to people and all the honorary doctorates that the colleges would give him for donating money and things like that. He did all of these things, guys. Okay, and not once or twice over his life. He did it his entire life, from the point that he was there when Nelson Mandela was going through what he was going through and was supportive of Nelson Mandela. But he also ran with Martin Luther King. He sat in cells with Martin Luther King. He was part of the civil rights movement. He's been very, very active in the way that we live life today from many different aspects. He is not just Dr. Huxtable. So if you don't know anything about this case, basically he's been accused of rape, and he's been accused of about 13 or 14 different women. I think it came actually be 60, but they've got the story of like 13 or 14 different ones that actually stuck. And if you do your research, you'll find that the way that they got these numbers up. My take on it is he was convicted and he was proven to be guilty in the court of law, as fair as that gets for us. We all know if you can stay out of the law, we want to stay out of law, especially if you are a person of a minority, or if you are a person with an agenda that goes against the mainstream agenda. And it sounds like, Bill Cosby may have been that person. So how should we feel about it? How should we feel about Bill Cosby doing all those great things that I named? The first black star, teach children, teaching us how to parent, all of those things. But we also got to look at, you know, if he's doing these things since the 70s and 80s, as he's accused, he's somewhat lived a double life. I think that we may have been in a situation where we have loved ones or someone we care a lot about and they do something wrong. We don't turn our back on them. If you look at what they've done to Bill Cosby, it's like they've ignored everything good that he's actually done and actually want to strip everything from him that he's actually ever accomplished, from the honorary doctorates that he's gotten to his television shows, in which pulling down the reruns of The Cosby Show did not only hurt him. We've seen Jeffrey have to go and get a job now at Trader Joe's. He's been job shamed. He came out later and admitted that he took a financial hit when this show was taken off the air. As Mrs. Huxtable has had to jump back out in the scene and do a little bit more acting and stuff now since then, and take on more work since then, because this was a nest egg for them, and that nest egg is gone. They are just looking to rip down everything. They don't talk about many things positive that Dr. Cosby did for the people to uplift not just one group of people, but all groups of people. And so my thing is this. I think that if we love Bill Cosby the way that we love Bill Cosby, Dr. Huxtable, whatever you choose to look at him, if we look at his body of where how he lived his life in the positive realm, and he affected you positively, and you love him so much, then you be there for him and you support him, just as you would a blood family member that may have done some things that you didn't agree with, got himself in trouble or something like that. You still be there and support him. If you get a chance to write letters and things like that, you just make sure that they know that you love them and that you support them. People make mistakes. Loved ones make mistakes. If Dr. Cosby did these things, then his karma has caught up with him. If he hasn't, let's meditate and focus on he may actually be being blindsided in a racist situation or in just a war of power. However you choose to believe on it, whether you choose to believe he did it, he didn't, whether you choose to stay neutral on it, support the brother. If he has been something to you, continue to support him. Don't forget everything positive that he's done for our society, for our communities. Don't let his legacy end in just being a rapist. If he did that, that needs to be stated, and we need to all learn this lesson from him. Even if he didn't do it, we can still learn the lessons from the certain situations, because from what I'm understanding, he was a bit of a philanderer. He was married, but he was not very faithful to his wife. And if you do those things, you're going to have to pay some karma. I don't think that anyone should be lynched. I do want to play one clip from Sinbad. As I was looking for things to, kind of talk to you guys, I found this clip from Sinbad, and I just want to play this because it kind of summed up everything that I wanted to say anyways. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm just going to let the Sinbad clip play out. Make sure you guys hit the like button on this video if you like it and you want to see more like it. Also, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you can receive notifications for my new videos. Please comment below. I'm gonna read them. I'll respond to them. I welcome all comments, good or bad, however you choose to feel about it. However, I just hope that you guys walk away knowing that in this situation, we can't sum up his life into just one show. He's done so much more, and we can't turn our back on him if he's someone that we love as much as we say we loved him. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Here's the clip.
When the verdict came down yesterday, what were your thoughts?
Man, I was almost thoughtless. I was like, Jesus.
It messed you up.
You know, it messed up because here's a man that now, especially people younger than us, all they'll know is this man.
Right.
He'll be this man, and that's not the man I knew. And I'm not putting all the women down who are crying and were affected. I get it, but that's not the man I knew. So I have to. It's like if you have a son that's up, you find your son murdered somebody. That's still your son. Yeah. He might do time, but you don't hate. That's your son. And you weep and you cry for him,
Right.
and that's where I'm at right now. I'm weeping and I'm crying because there's another side of him I wish more of the world knew.
Right.